Hello there everybody, this is Alex from Hardcoring Guides, being my guide for Dead Space 2 on Zealot difficulty. Today we're doing Chapter 15 entitled It Ends Here. And starting right out the bat, once you walk out this door, you're going to have a leaper to your right. Make sure you take them down. After that, a leaper is going to spawn from the left. He takes a little bit longer to show up than the one on the right does, so make sure you target the right first and then target the left and deal with them accordingly. After that, once you start running down this way, you're going to have a guy up above you, so make sure you see him. It's going to be a puker. You don't have to completely kill him. At least just knock off his legs or just avoid the shots, whichever way you prefer. The regenerator is still here, and he's still kicking, so pretty much just do what you did in the last chapter and use stasis, use melee on him to knock him down, or chop off a leg or two, or just whatever. Just make sure you get to the point where he's trying to regenerate, while also usually being stuck in stasis, and he won't be that much of a problem. Once you come in here, you're going to have a couple of super slashers, so just, kill one, grab its arm, throw it at the other one, that whole thing. There's not too many enemies in this room, and once that's over with, you're going to collect some stuff, pick up some items, which you're going to need. Make sure you have a decent amount of ammo for this part, too, because running low on ammo is going to be a killer for you, unless you are really good at using stasis and melee. Then that would come in handy. Now, also, another thing is, once you come out here, of course, you're going to be attacked by a leaper, and then straight right after, it's going to be a super puker, and then to the top left is going to be a super lurker. One thing you could always do is just, if things get kind of rough, just run back into the room, and then let the leaper kind of like chase you into that room and kill him that way. Just to kind of avoid the potential chance of getting hit by either A, the puker, or even B, getting hit by the lurker. So, if you want to avoid those shots, just remember, you can always go behind, go back into the room you were before to kind of just give yourself some small amount of cover. So once you come into here, just blast up the stasis to hopefully knock out, or to hopefully freeze as many enemies as you possibly can. And then, of course, just go through this section and just John Rambo pretty much everything at this point. Don't worry too much about ammo scarcity that's going to happen, but just try your best to limit yourself. Don't go too crazy, but have a nice amount of ammo before you come to this section, and if you happen to not have a nice amount, then of course use stasis and melee to build up more ammo. And what I mean by don't worry about ammo scarcity is, like, you will get a decent amount of ammo from just pickups and stuff at this point in the game. Most enemies will probably start dropping more often, and you'll have little spots that you can kind of grab them from and what have you. So that you can definitely tell that a lot more things are being dropped. Well, it's probably about the typical, but there's just so many enemies that they're just going to be dropping a lot no matter what, right? All I'm trying to say is don't go absolutely crazy and just shoot off shots in just random spots. Make sure you aim your shots well. Go John Rambo on getting rid of those limbs. That's what I should be saying. You want to knock off them limbs and take them down the best way you possibly can. After that, of course, you're going to run into this area. Regenerator is going to show up. And what I do is I just knock down a couple of his legs. Whether or not he's in stasis doesn't really matter. Just knock down a couple of his legs, and then after that, just use stasis when he tries to get back up or starts crawling toward you, and just freeze him in space once again, or freeze him in the spot once again, and keep him there for a bit. Just to give yourself some time to relax and not have to worry about him getting too aggressive. Now, I don't know what the point of this little catwalk area was. I think this is supposed to be kind of back on the Ishimura, maybe? I don't know, but reminds me of it. It might be like a small reference to that area with the marker. But regardless, there's nothing over there, and then, just make your way through here. And I forget this guy's name, like Tennerman or something, I don't remember, but just whenever you get shot, of course, mash the appropriate button to break out of it, and you'll pretty much be fine. Just make sure you're mashing a decent amount. You don't have to do anything with that part. It's just the mashing. Isaac does pretty much the rest, but after, of course, he gets shot in the neck, that's when you're going to want to aim your gun and, blow off his head. And a pretty damn brutal, brutal way to do it. It's pretty cool. So, yeah. Next up is Nicole, and this is where the true finale finally happens, and where all the hard work you've put in is going to really shine. So basically, just shoot her in the head with a plasma cutter. Hopefully it's fully upgraded, because that helps out big time. shoot in the head a few times, and after that, you want to use Plasma Cutter on the actual hive itself. You want to use it on that, and then you're going to have to deal with the swarm. And this is where things get a lot more tough. So pretty much what I do is I try to find an edge to get to. What I mean by that is I'm just trying to get to the outer rim of this entire ring, or this arena, so that way I can kind of group up the swarm to make it to where I could just mow them down with my assault rifle. And this is where the preemptive of using the assault rifle, or pulse rifle, sorry, came into play. This is why I run both the Plasma Cutter and pulse rifle on Zealot, is so that way when I get to this section, I could just mow them down by holding, you know, basically an automatic weapon and not have to really worry too much about aiming, or that hard. I mean, still be careful with your shots, of course, but since I have like 400 ammo on this damn thing, I'm pretty much good to go. So, and plus I still get a bit more. I also, at this point, have a lot of health packs, and the thing is, if you don't have a lot of health packs at this point, or you don't have a lot of ammo at this point, it's going to be a lot more difficult to deal with this entire fight, and that's really kind of the killer for it. Stasis does work on the swarm. I don't think it works on Nicole herself. I haven't really tested that theory, but as far as I'm aware, I would assume probably doesn't. But yeah, Nicole is not that hard, like, strangely at all. She used to be way harder back in the day. I don't know what happened, but all you gotta do is just for the first wave, just shoot her in the head with the Plasma Cutter, do enough damage on her, and then after that, start using the pulse rifle on the swarm and her to save ammo for the Plasma Cutter, and then use Plasma Cutter on the hive thing, and you're pretty much good to go. Like three different waves, possibly, if even that is enough to just take them out completely. And after that, of course, you saw you're doing the whole, you know, flying through thing. You don't have to hold down the sprint button, I don't believe, to get back to the ship. So you just mash A, and then the rest is just history. You pretty much beat it at that point. So yeah, that's it for Dead Space 2. It took me a while to finally finish these videos, and I apologize, of course, but there was a lot of technical difficulties with trying to get this thing to work. And I don't know what's going to happen for my next guide, which I plan on doing God of War 3 on Chaos Mode, for those that are curious. That is what's planned. I was trying to train on Metal Gear Rising again, so because I want to do an S-rank guide for that. I know, you know, these guides don't really matter. I'm too late to the party, right? But I do this for me, you know, and you guys, and just to entertain at the same time. And if anybody ever needs help, like actual help, and they find my video, then, well, you know, it works out in the end, right? So, regardless of what I do next, I may or may not try using a different editing software. So things might be a little bit slower to get uploaded. I don't know. As of right now, in terms of my Hardcore and Guides channel, I'm going to be taking a break for a bit before God of War 3. I was planning on doing God of War 3 after this, like just straight up right after. But I think it's probably best I take a break. I have a lot of projects I want to work on other things right now. So I'd rather tackle those instead of having to worry about Hardcorean and what's going on there. So I do, of course, apologize in advance that there won't be very many videos. But if you're looking for content, you know, I have links that you can check out. You can find my other stuff. And most importantly, right now, things that are being done right now. I am working on some sketch stuff, but the main thing I can say that I want to take a break from Hardcorean for is to do a Let's Play on my main channel, which is going to be for Banjo-Kazooie, and the plan is to do it 100%. So if you're looking forward to that, you know, check it out. You can find my channel in the description. It's TurdMonkey1497. You could find it there. You could type in TurdMonkey1497. You'll find me. I should have like an image of Virgil as my profile picture. He's bald, so I find it funny. I've just kept it ever since. So that's what's going on over there. Sketch stuff, that's, you know, that just gets done when it gets done. So in terms of what comes next for Dead Space, that's where things get a little bit tricky. I don't plan on really ever playing Extraction on the channel. I say I don't plan it. It doesn't mean that it won't happen. It just means that I don't really have plans for doing it. I've never really played Extraction much to care. Not that it's bad. I just never got into it when I was young. So it just hasn't been a thing I wanted to play, and I keep forgetting about it even existing. But in terms of Dead Space on hard, not counting challenge runs, but just hard stuff, like Dead Space 2 hardcore mode would be a thing I could eventually do one day. This is a huge maybe. I just want to say that right now. That's a huge maybe. It might happen. It might not happen. Who knows? But just keep in mind that I would love to do hardcore mode, but it might not happen. Dead Space 3 could happen. Dead Space Remake on hard. Dead Space Remake on impossible. That kind of stuff. That could also happen in the future as well. Maybe a Dead Space 1 plasma cutter only run. Dead Space 2 plasma cutter only run. I don't know. Anything can happen. But do keep in mind that I will not do a Dead Space game until after I've done at least 3 other games after this. Now, that doesn't mean, of course, I'm going to be doing Dead Space in the next few guides. It just means that that's how I like to do things. And if I was to potentially do Dead Space in this arc of Hardcorean, it would have to come after God of War and then something else after that. So that's how that works right now. I just have a weird way of doing things, I know. That was weird. It sounded like people were shooting off fireworks for some reason. It's October. I don't know what I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. God of War 3 Chaos difficulty is next. I will do it. I will finish it. That's the plan. If anything else happens, I will let you guys know if plans change. So, just check out the community tab whenever I post on there. I'm not sure how good YouTube is about telling people that I'm doing things, but it should be fine. I don't know. So, God of War 3 is next. I don't know what's coming after that. Possibly Metal Gear Rising. Who knows? But that's a bit in the future. I'd say expect God of War 3 maybe around possibly December. Maybe possibly December. Because I got to get through Banjo, man. That's if you guys have ever played Banjo-Kazooie 100%, you probably understand that that's a bit of a pain to go through. So, but that'll be coming maybe next weekend. Possibly starting next weekend. I don't know. And that might take a while to finish too. So basically, I just taking a break from my own mental. Pretty much. That's kind of the idea. So I don't want to keep you guys here any longer than it has to be. I hope you enjoyed the guide. And maybe hopefully it helps some people out there. I'm not sure. But of course, you can always leave feedback. But just don't be an ass. Basically, if I'm just saying you can criticize, but just don't be an asshole about it. That's all. Just don't be hateful, just say hey, this was dumb. You should have done this. But it's cool, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to do a comment like that. I don't know. All I'm saying is just don't be mean and hateful. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys then. I want to do more Dead Space content in the future, but we will see what happens. And like I said, as for next, God of War 3 is up. And I would love to finish the God of War franchise at some point in the near future. So let's try to bang those out when we can. Hopefully when I come back from my little break, my hiatus, maybe we might bang out some more guides. I don't know. But anyway, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you all next time. And as always, take care, everybody.